What does £750,000 actually get you in London? Well, in one neighborhood, that might buy you a 514 square foot one-bedroom flat, but in another part of the city, that same budget could actually get you nearly 1,000 square feet and up to 2 bedrooms. So which areas give you the most space and which ones are you really paying for location? Today, I'm going to show you exactly what £750,000 buys you across London. Hi everyone, I'm Arinzeh, a London-based property agent with Onyx Property Team. Now, in order to explain a little bit more, before we dive into the properties, it's helpful to understand how London is organized. The city is structured around transport zones. Zone 1 is the historic center, so it's where you'll find areas like Mayfair, Soho, Notting Hill, Marylebone, and the city. This is where properties tend to be the most expensive because you're surrounded by iconic culture, architecture, restaurants, and parks that make London world-class. Then the next ring is Zone 2, which often offers a really appealing balance. Still very central, but typically with more space and better value for the money. For many buyers, especially those relocating internationally, Zone 2 is where London really starts to feel like a livable city rather than just a global capital. So our first example we're going to start with is in the heart of the City of London, the capital's historic financial district. This apartment is located in the Haydon, a modern luxury development near Aldgate and Tower Hill stations. It's priced at around £765,000 and offers about 540 square feet of space. That works out to roughly £1,400 per square foot. This price reflects the extreme centrality of this location. The city is home to institutions like the Bank of England, the London Stock Exchange, but in recent years, it's also become increasingly residential. Buildings like this offer a lifestyle that's closer to a luxury hotel with amenities such as 24-hour concierge, gym and pool, as well as spa, a cinema room, and a residence lounge. So although the apartment itself is relatively compact, you're buying into a high-end residential development in one of the most central locations in London. Now, if we move just south of the river, we arrive at Shad Thames, one of London's most atmospheric historic neighborhoods. Located right next to the Tower of London, this area is famous for its converted Victorian warehouses and cobbled streets. Here, $750,000 buys something quite different. This is a loft-style 2-bedroom apartment which measures just under 1,000 square feet, which works out to roughly £750 per square foot. That's almost half the price per square foot of the city example we just looked at. Shad Thames has a really distinct character with riverside restaurants, historic architecture, and easy access to both the city and Canary Wharf. It's particularly popular with professionals working in finance and tech who want to live close to work while enjoying a neighborhood feel. What this comparison already shows is how dramatically price per square foot changes across London. Location will play a huge role in those numbers. For example 3, we're going to head west to Notting Hill, one of London's most internationally recognized neighborhoods. This 2-bedroom period conversion on Tavistock Road is priced around $750,000 and measures approximately 594 square feet. That works out to £1,260 per square foot. Notting Hill is famous for its colorful houses, independent boutiques, and of course, Portobello Road Market. It's also one of the most desirable residential neighborhoods in London. So here, much of the value is tied to the prestige and lifestyle of the area rather than sheer size. Our fourth example is in Chelsea, where we're going to stay in West London. This is another classic prime central London neighborhood. This 1-bedroom period property on Redcliffe Road is priced around $750,000 and measures 514 square feet. That's roughly around £1,460 per square foot, making it one of the highest price per square foot examples in this video. Chelsea has long been associated with elegant architecture, garden squares, and very refined London lifestyle. You're close to King's Road, the museums of South Kensington, and the Thames River. So again, buyers are prioritizing location, prestige over space. Finally, for our last example, we're going to head to just north of the city into Clerkenwell, an area that sits at the intersection of London's tech, design, and creative industries. This 2-bedroom apartment near Old Street is priced around $750,000 and measures roughly 753 square feet. That works out to around 996 pounds per square foot. Clerkenwell has become increasingly popular with professionals working in tech and creative sectors thanks to proximity to Silicon Roundabout, as well as excellent restaurants, cafes, and design studios. So for buyers who want to be close to the city but still enjoy a lively neighborhood atmosphere, Clerkenwell can be a really attractive option. So the story of $750,000 in London isn't really one answer. It's really about trade-offs. In prime central London neighborhoods like Chelsea or Notting Hill, that budget buys you prestige and location, but the trade-off is going to be less space. Move slightly east or south, and suddenly the same budget can buy significantly more square footage. So if you're thinking about buying property in London, especially if you're relocating internationally, understanding neighborhoods, how they compare, is incredibly important. Because ultimately, the right location can dramatically influence both your lifestyle, your investment over time, and your overall enjoyment. If you'd like some help navigating the London property market or exploring properties like the ones we've highlighted or at different price points, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to book a complimentary consultation to give you tips and tricks on how to go about your property search. And if this video has been helpful to you, please like the video and subscribe because we post weekly about the London property market and lifestyle. And let me know in the comments which neighborhoods you'd like me to break down next. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.